previous two, like we already know why we need a very powerful listing presentation, as Michael was saying. But previous to do the listing presentation, we need to have a couple of documents prepared. We need to have the property CMA. There is a class about this, and coaching is taking care of that. But this is how the CMA should look like. It's the specific comps to the property you are going to list. And you have to prepare that, get it ready. On top of that, you have to have a neighborhood CMA. That's what I like, is just to have an overview of what's going on in the neighborhood. In this case, today we're going to work Cinco Ranch, and Cinco Ranch is a gigantic neighborhood. So we work specifically Cinco Ranch Southwest in order to do this presentation. And it will give us an idea of what's going on. This is not comparable to the listing we're gonna try to get as our listing. This is just what is happening in the market. So there is not size of number of bedrooms or anything. It's just the subdivision and every active, every pending, every expired, and every sold that are in that subdivision. Some subdivisions are too small, then you just go with an area, like use your imagination. Like the CMA, there is a class specific to that, but that's the kind of documentation you need to have. On top of that, you need to have two other documents.
It would be great if you had this one. Does anybody recognize this class? Agent metrics. Yeah, so you want to, if you haven't taken the class, I just had it last week. It's not scheduled again until June. But after you see the presentation, you might say, gosh, I wish I would have been there last week. If I get 15 people who say, please teach it again, like next week, I'll do it. But I need at least 15. Otherwise, you got to wait till June. Yes. Did we record that class, Rain? I don't know. Yeah.
But the great thing about that class, if you guys gather together 10 people or 15 people, it's really what is great about the class is that Michael go through it and you will be able to do it on your own afterwards. It's easier to be in person, and he's willing to give it for 15 people. It's really worth it.
All right, so let's get moving.
Yes. So let's get started with the presentation. Let's pretend that all of you already have your, can you go to dashboard, Isuda, please? All of you, this is, okay. All of you are already in Powerlister Deluxe. You go to the homepage, and this is what you're gonna look like, what it's gonna look like. You go to amend agent profile. You're going to be able to personalize it with your picture, with your logo, with your personal information. Make sure that the phone number is actually your personal phone number. Don't put the office, because it will be related so that people can call directly to you. And make sure that every information is specific. You also will be able to use your personal logo or the logo of the office. There are actually several logos available on the web page. You save, and automatically will take you to the next page.
And guys, if you feel like we've gone too fast on something, stop us right away.
Anytime you have a question, make sure. Isuda, can you show the logos that are already into the system for them to choose?
Let's start creating the...
Okay, so as soon as you get over here, your information is ready. On the left side, you're gonna have the opportunity to create your presentation, your new presentation, and every presentation that is already created previously is going to stay there until you wanna just trash it away. If you see the printing, it'll teach you how to, it will take you to print the whole presentation. The little pencil is gonna take to edit the presentation anytime during while you're doing it or afterwards, whatever you wanna do. So that, it's one of the features. Let's go create a presentation. there are three features that you'd have to start. The name of the presentation, I will highly recommend to put the name of the address at the same address. It's going to be easier for you to find it later on. In this case, we're going to use 1001111 White Pines Drive. And as a tax record, you will have access to know who the sellers are. And you put the name over here. In this case, we pretend to be Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And then you, of course, you have to write again very easy, the address of the property. Super easy. Over here, you can actually select the logo. Let's say you don't have a personal logo branded to you. You have to actually use one of these to have a logo on your presentation. And it can be luxury, it can be KW, or just KW Memorial, whatever you choose. Then you go to save and continue. Quite easy. And over here, you have your
So Tanya,
information.
once I've saved the information, do I have to go back in there again ever for my personal information?
It will always stay there, and it will always, as you see it right now, for the moment, it will always take you there. You can edit it at any time, but you don't have to rewrite it. It's always going to stay there for any future presentations that you're going to do. That's a great question. Now, market data. Here is why we needed all the previous documentation that is said, get it ready previous to start your listing presentation, because this information is what you're gonna need, that information what you're gonna need to fill this out. So when it says market center is actually, it's gonna be changed to subdivision. Over there, we write the subdivision. Can we go to the general, well, Southwest we're using? And then it says number of active listing. Remember, I told you to do an overview about the market, what is going on in the neighborhood, not the specific CMA, but the neighborhood CMA. So it's we need larger numbers. So this is an overview. This is not the CMA, and you're going to see it later on in the script and in the presentation why there is a difference. So the number of listing, you just go to active listing and you go all the way, and it will tell you how many there are. In this case, we have 17, and that's the number we're going to input in that space. And now it's a number of pending listing. This is a little bit trickier because it says just one number, but we have to take in consideration option pending, pending, and continue, and pending continue to show. So we add those three numbers. In this case, we only have two, option pending and pending. We add those two numbers, 15 plus and 9, and we have the total of how many pending in the neighborhood there are.
Does that make sense? Tanya? So option pending and pending, you want to put them all together. So you're just adding them up. So again, it's germane for you to be successful to do this first. You go into MLS, pull this data, and then you just feed it into Powerlister. In a future Powerlister, I'd love to have it just automatic from MLS, pull it over. It doesn't yet.
It
We're putting
says,
it into the number of active listings, 17, number of pending, 24. Yeah.
Sarah, you have a question?
Yes.
Yes, you can read it later. Yes. Great questions. Market
Good-
center.
Good question. So market center, it's ridiculous that we put that there. We were drunk when we wrote this, and that should say subdivision. So the edit will not have market center there. Yeah, but don't do that.
No. In this case, it's Cinco Ranch Southwest, and there is a reason we want to be very specific. We're gonna, you're gonna understand it when we do the presentation, when the presentation is completed. Number of expired listing, we go again to the general CMA. And we're gonna see 3 expired listing. That's the number we're gonna input over there. Yes.
So the question is, how far back do you go when you look at expireds?
So in this case, because I want substantial numbers, I actually use 6 months, but if you can use the whole Cinco Ranch instead of going to Cinco Ranch Southwest, and use 3 months, and probably you will have it, that you can play with it. The fact is that you want numbers, you want your seller to understand what's going on in general on that area. And most agents never talk about it, but this is kind of useful through the process. Now, number of closed listing, these are sold. We need to add over there the same CMA, how many sold we have. And we have 31 total sold. Now, this is the very tricky part. I want you to pay close attention because it might be confusing. This is average original listing price for sold homes. Where do we find that on the CMA? We go to sold, just after the sold, the 31st, we have the numbers, and it says minimum, max, average. We go to that average and we input the listing price of those sold. So the property that were sold, the average listing price, original listing price was this one. Okay,
So
any
third column,
questions?
average or third row?
And it's list price, average list price, sold, because that average is going to go for active, for pending, for sold, for expired, for everything. It has to be the sold one. Make sure that it's the right one. And we input the number over there, and then we go to average sold price. So those sold properties were listed to a price, and the average was 596,351, but they actually sold as an average to 594,180. This is the final number, the average of final number they sold for. Is that clear? It's confusing. If it is confusing, please let me know.
Actually not that tough. It didn't sell for list. Right?
But it's kind of lots of numbers. So yes, let's input it to the listing. And automatically it will calculate what is the price percentage that the seller actually
It's not
got
doing
out
it
of
right
it.
here. It does it when we push the magic button. It's going to do everything at the end. It's going to let us know what is the percentage of list to sales price. We used to have to figure it ourselves. Now it does it for us.
And actually on the CMA, there is that number as well. And the average is there too, if you want to input it. But it doesn't, it's a 99.89%. It's over there. So now we did input all the numbers. So we have our information custom to that specific property. And now we go to letter. We do have a letter included. We designed it, and it seems smart to me, but you can always change it and
Well,
modify.
Here's where you would want to change it. If you read it, if you have it in front of you, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to represent you in the sale of your home. It's an honor to have the chance to add you to my list of satisfied clients, blah, 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 blah. And that's a list of the things you do. Well, a floor plan of the property. If you're going to do a floor plan of the property, leave that in there. David Walter will do that for you if you get a virtual tour from him. It costs $20 more, and it's something that's built into the Matterport system. If you're not going to do it, take that out. But let's say Emily Zackham, she does accompanied showings on all her listings. On a listing that's 300,000, she will show up to that house, and when some other buyer's agent comes in, she's already there opening up the house for them. That's a pretty tall order, and that is a step above what most agents do. She should include that in there. What I'm asking you not to do is to not touch it, because you show up with this,
You're
and
committed to
another
that.
KW Memorial agent happens to be going on that listing presentation, and they show up with the same thing. It's kind of funky, right? So if you have a value add that you do, include it in there. So you have a little bit of a difference there, right?
And personalize it. The one thing that I like to highlight, all of these services are actually services that are available in the office. Seller Edge is one of those, and Seller Shield. I mean, those are options that we put over there for you to consider and promote it to. It's already there. You don't have to redesign it. But I do suggest, like Mr. Bossart said, personalize it. Do something that you would do to differentiate you from any other agent, even in this office.
And guys, you only have to do this stuff once, right? Then it's done. You're done forever. The longest you're going to spend is this setup right now, or if you did it tonight at home.
Yes, it will. It is as an example.
You
And
sure it's
you,
not? Sucker.
It's going to be automatic.
It's going to be there. I promise.
Okay, so let's go. Now, the most important thing, one of the most important things that you need to do and make sure it is there is save and continue. To move to the next step, every time you move to the next step, and make sure that you press save and continue. Yasuda, can you please get back to agent details? One thing that so every time you press save and continue, we'll go to the next step over there. You want to make sure that before you move to the other, now, can you please come back? You will go all the way through these 3 steps that are inside one step. So those are the only ones that are kind of skipped. If you save and continue, you have to go through them first and then save and continue. Now, there is an option to have custom pages. One thing that we used to do that it was suggested is if you just go by the property that you want to list, take a picture with your phone or whatever. Just try to make it nice. Don't steal it from the MLS previous listing, please, because you're going to get in trouble. And you can insert that to your presentation, so the seller will have like a different impression of you. If that's an option, just an option.
So this is when you show up to the listing presentation, you already have this, right? Don't have any of the inside of this house because that's weird, right? But here's one of the backyard, beautiful house. Oh, that was my first house in Houston. But that would be impressive to me if somebody showed up with that, right? So it's an option to add that in the custom pages.
Another option that you can add, you can like put some of the CMA analysis and everything into these pages and just add it over here. I wouldn't recommend that. The easiest way is to just keep it as they are and just insert into the presentation at the end. It will be brighter and easier to read, but that's an option too. So let's go, after we finish all of this, we go to continue. And guess what? Your presentation is ready to go. You have a couple of options. One is the standard presentation. I highly recommend when just print it out, read the whole thing, and choose what you like. Next time you use it, like there are some pages that you can choose specific pages, or you can select all, and it will include everything.
Okay,
Now,
let me cut in on this one. Don't select all if you're not going to use them. If you've taken my DISC class, a high I is not going to want to go through all the pages, but a high C will crave all the pages and want you to go through all of it, and you better budget your 3 hours in there. Let's do open up the one that you're on right now, or there you go. This is a good one that would be great for all of them. We put your home on 330 real estate websites. Every time you pay your bill to us, there's a bunch of things we pay for. This is one of those services. When you pay your agent bill, I'm paying ListHub a big chunk of cash so that when you take a listing, automatically, without you touching anything, the next day it gets syndicated out to 330 real estate websites. You want to talk about that. You want to show your value. There's a lot of auto things we do you have no idea that we're doing. That's one of them. Yes, Tara. We've updated everything on the website. Everything will officially be updated very, very quickly because we just went through everything. Thank you to our wonderful luxury concierge. She put in countless hours. Tara, Tara's on luxury division, but Rachel, Tanja put in countless hours. Her assistant, Asuda, put in countless hours to make sure that this was completely up to date.
Gabby also helped a lot.
Absolutely. So this would be a great page. There's a bunch of them, and we're going to go through an actual listing presentation here in just a few, but you want to know how to articulate the position. If you have it in there and then they ask you a question about it, what are you going to say? We want to give you the words so you know what to say.
So my favorite of the options that we have over here, it's actually the script presentation, because you have less pages, but you will have the specific script of what to say showing each pages. Now, make sure that you learn that script. Make sure that first of all, you don't include it to the paperwork that you're giving to your seller, because that will be wrong. I've done it with Mr. Bossart when I presented to him, but that's a no-no. But nevertheless, it will make sure that you practice and know exactly. You verbalize it, you practice, you internalize it, you make it yours. So when you are presenting, you will be confident about what you're saying. There are other features. If you can get back just a second. Now, let's say this is another feature that I really like. This is of the luxury template. Let's say you are not in luxury yet, in the luxury division yet, but you have the blessed to have a luxury listing, and you want to do a luxury presentation. This information is going to be there for you to impress that kind of buyer. And of course, since you do need to close 4 luxury properties in the 2 years time frame, in order to be in luxury, you need to use these kind of tools, and you have access to it. Any question? So let's choose the script.
Yes, Delphi?
Yes. Can you use the micro?
Luxury is 830,000 in Harris County, 700,000 in Fort Bend County, and then the other counties, we've got those as well. You need to close 4 of them in a 2-year period, and then the maintenance is 2 per year. And as that number fluctuates in luxury, when we started the luxury division, it was $500,000, but it's gone up by 50% in the last 6 years.
Any other question related to Powerlister Deluxe? Everybody is on time with this? Perfect. So now let's go to, no, can we select? So I want to select all and include this. I will keep that part of the script. Is actually, you have the new version with you. Just make sure it's not included for what you present to your buyer, to your seller. It's mine.
What's yours?
Oh.
If I'm done on the table after.
Thank you. I was wondering what it was. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, that's my phone. So what you're gonna do with the script, you're gonna take it apart, you're gonna have it with you, you're gonna practice, you're gonna assemble your presentation. I print everything. Can you just click on finish and create PDF?
And guys, once you have the stuff set up and we're set it and forget it, it takes literally 5 minutes to do a full listing presentation setup. Once you have your back stuff in, which will take 10, maybe 15 minutes, it'll take less than 5 minutes to do a new listing presentation. If someone called you today and said, hey, I'm interested in seeing what you would be selling my home for, boom, it's ready to go. So now's the time to get set up, and then you want to practice this.
Now, this is the listing presentation we just created. It's over there. We can edit it at any time or everything, but we're just going to go print it. And as soon as we print it out, this is how it's going to look like. Who of you like what they're seeing? What do you think about this listing presentation? It's pretty nice, correct? It's quite easy. Who of you will use it? Raise your hands if you will use it. Okay, I have great news for you. I know that many people wouldn't use it because they don't like the colors and the gray and it's too boring. So this is actually this great, wonderful information created 10 years ago. We just updated right now. And Isuda is going to show you how it looks right now. It's going to look like that very soon on your computer as well. It's the same information, it's just with a fresh look. And actually have updated information. It's not the same exact, most of it is, but it's an updated information. And this is how it looks at the end of the day.
Tanya, that wasn't very cool. You got us all excited about the last one, and then you set us up that it didn't look good.
Because to me, it did look good. It looked great. But nevertheless, this looks better, doesn't it? Isuda worked so hard on it. And we worked together hours
question
and hours.
Go ahead, Melissa.
from one of the we have a question from Kathleen Pradia. She's asking if if the agents can purchase KW folders at the office.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So she's asking for something. Now, this presentation, this is how you're going to see it over there. This is how I present it to my sellers. You can purchase this for those who see from home. This is a hardcover. This is a hardcover book. Inside is the listing presentation. I'm going to pass it to all of you, and it's include all the information that you need to have, including the previous documents that we were asking you, agent matrix, et cetera.
So we have the machine out here. That's a glue strip inside of there. You just put the pages in. Yeah, they used to be $5 a piece, and I learned today they are now $16.50 a piece. So
but it's still worth it, and you can have it literally in 10 minutes. Now, about the folder, yes, there are other presentations that are cheaper, and it's your choice to use it. The ring one, you can use that too. And the folder, I honestly personally differentiate red for buyers and black for sellers. So it's easy for me to see it. And to answer the question over here, I include always the IABS and the listing presentation. I like to leave the client with a signature on paper to make sure that I get it. I don't like to leave and let them having time to sign electronically. It's just easier to get it on the spot. We're gonna pass by this so that you all can take a look at it. And we're going to now do the best part of today. Here's what we're going to do. So Mr. Bossart and I are going to show you the whole presentation live. You all have one copy of the script. That is, the script that you have is actually the new one that is related to the new version, the corrected and improved. And it's a new script. Well, it's pretty much the same, but it has some new parts related to what's going on the market right now and how we can help the agent through the process. It's over here up front for those who don't have it.
I think we printed 30. We probably, can we get somebody from the staff to print up some more? Bless you, Claudia. We're gonna print up a bunch more.
You ready?
If I'm the seller, I'm gonna sit down. I want to be comfortable.
Okay. A copy of that. Yes. That's okay. There is a reason why I have that, and I'm gonna. That's why we're doing. Yes, yeah. You can definitely, that's a great suggestion. We can have it's gonna step by. The conclusion of the presentation is just pricing, and the suggestion to put like a nice ending to the presentation, to the listing presentation, the final part. I'm gonna pass by. You're gonna see it, and it's a great solution, a great suggestion. Absolutely, definitely. Isuda, take notes, please. I'm gonna explain it. I'm gonna show you
The
some.
question
It's
was
PowerPoint.
at the end,
Okay,
is there a
me-
nicer way to show the price that we're suggesting?
so there is a reason. The ending page that we have right now. Please, sorry.
Guys, there's a couple schools of thought there. Are you showing up with the price? Idea is to allow you and the customer is going to ultimately pick the price. Once you take a look at the Memorial Metrics program, you're going to be able to really push them into the right price a lot easier.
So
So you took my class, know what I mean?
yes, and definitely you will want to take that class as soon as we're done with this. This is how it ends right now. And there is a reason why, because after this, the purpose is to take out the listing agreement and discuss the terms of the listing agreement. But nevertheless, the suggestion is to end with something pretty and colorful at the very end. So that was the suggestion that we were discussing previously. Ready? Okay. Ring, ring. Hello. Hello, Mr. Smith. This is Tanja Blandini with Keller Williams Memorial. I was calling you to confirm our appointment for tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm preparing some information for the appointment, and just with the purpose of being accurate and clear, I have a couple of questions. Do you have 2 minutes?
Yes.
So first of all, I would like to know, did you apply any improvement to the property since you bought it like 3 years ago?
I painted the inside of the living room green.
Okay. Anything else?
Isn't that enough?
I guess. And how long ago did you do that?
I just did it last week. Was that a good idea?
Well, we discussed those details in person. I haven't seen the house. Let's talk about that when I'm getting there. I have a
My wife hasn't seen it yet. I'm excited when she gets back from her trip.
Okay, we're gonna see it together, discovering tomorrow. Quick question. As soon as we sell your home, where are you gonna move to?
I have a farm that we're looking at in Butte, Montana.
In Butte, Montana. That's
Are
fantastic.
you guys shaming me on my future decision?
Butte, Montana sounds exciting. And can I ask you, when would you like to move out there?
We're looking at about 9 months. That's good. Pig season.
That sounds like a very specific plan. Love to help you out, realize that plan. Just one more question. Now you're busy and I don't want to take too much of your time. When you hire your agent, what is the one thing you're looking for into that agent so that through the whole process of selling your home?
That's a good question. I would like to have good communication. We had an agent before. It was tough to get a hold of them. They did not respond. They weren't proactive. So communication would probably be the number one thing. And by the way, guys, off script, that is the number one complaint I get by far on listing agents not communicating with the sellers. And they're asking me, can you please switch the agent or can I please cancel the listing?
Well, it seems fair to me, Mr. Smith. Let's do this. I'm going to let you go right now. I'm going to see you tomorrow at 7 p.m.
All right.
Perfect. Knock, knock.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Smith. This is Tanja Blandini. How are you today?
It's a pleasure.
Pleasure is to me too. Thank you so much for hosting me in your house today and allow me to present what I can do to help you sell and get to your next chapter in life. Can I ask you a favor? would you mind to show me the property, highlighting everything you think it's a pro toward your home, something that you will like the buyer to see?
What do you think of the green?
Very interesting. You definitely put lots of thought on it.
Yes. But here is my beautiful kitchen with the double island. And here are the new cabinets that came in. Over here is the living room with the fireplace. And back over here, here is the dining area leading out to the swimming pool.
Sounds fantastic. Sounds really took a good care of the house. You were very intentional. Definitely has lots of potential. Since I have prepared something for you today, would it be okay to sit at the kitchen table and discuss what I have prepared for you?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Oh,
So,
sure.
okay. So nice. You use the tall one and I use the,
You want the little one?
yeah. Okay, so here's what I have prepared. Can I borrow that just a second? Who has them? Okay. Here's what I have prepared for you today, Mr. Bossart, and what I want to, Mr. Smith, I'm sorry, and what I want to make you notice that it's specific to your property. Every information in here is related to your house, personalized. So first of all, I have a little note. It's a thank you for having me here today and giving me opportunity to show what I will do to sell your home. There are many things that I will do. Definitely, I will promote your property, more than 300 websites. I will provide professional photos and slides photo. I will do the 3D tour of the house, a floor plan of the house. And I will do so much more than that. Seller Shield is another option that I like just for liability. It's a coverage and you have the chance to use or not any of my services. Now, I do have a service that I think it will benefit a lot. One thing, I love the green that you put over there. The only issue that I see, it's very personal. It's like your taste. It might be maybe mine, not sure about it, but I don't want to limit the taste on that.
What are you saying?
Bring it like more neutral, maybe. In case you decide to do that, Seller Edge is a program that I have for you that you don't have to pay upfront. If the property has any equity on it, we can do the job and you will pay at a closing. Sounds like something that might interest you.
All right, let me give the 5 seconds on what Seller's Edge is. When your client does something dumb, like paints the house green inside, or they need new cabinets or new carpet or new whatever, new floor coverings, we have a company that will do the work and it doesn't cost the client anything until the property sells. So they will bring in a concierge, they'll take a look at it and the client will say, okay, we'd like to maybe not put in new cabinets, but we'll paint the cabinets. We'd like to have them painted. And they'll quote a price. They'll get a price quoted by the concierge. And then the work gets done. The client doesn't pay until the house closes. Most people, many people you'll find are equity rich, especially if they bought that house before 2019, when everybody's prices shot up, but they're cash poor. They just don't have the money right now to put into a house that they're selling. So that's why we affiliated with this company that allows us to do that. You do need to get certified in the program. Now it takes about 30 minutes on a Zoom call, but it's a pretty cool program. Again, for me, I wouldn't be able to pay for the 19 coats of paint. I'm going to need to cover the green forest paint I put on the walls. They'll take care of it with the professionals, knock it out, and I'll pay at closing. Sorry. Man, great question. So if the house doesn't sell, as long as the client, me, relists specifically with her, they will extend it another 6 months. So that's huge. If they decide, hey, I want to go list with somebody else, then I have to pay immediately for it. I'm more likely to continue listing with her. So that's another great security you have to hold onto the client.
So, Mr. Smith, the process, let's go through the process of selling your home. To simplify the whole process, I divided into 8 steps. And I discovered that every time I use and I follow those 8 steps, I'm successful and the house is sold and the seller loved me. It sounds like fair to continue doing so, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. Let me go through each step. So step number 1 is understanding the current market conditions. Step number 2, assessing the value of your home. Step number 3, setting the right price. Then we calculate the bottom line. Finally, we prepare your home for sale, advertise and marketing your home, and going from contract to close, and finally getting you into your next chapter in life. Do you have any question related to this?
Sounds great.
Okay, let's go into preparing your home for the market. One thing that you need to know, every buyer who will come and see your house is a prospect buyer for your home. It's a good prospect. And the reason is because they're looking for a product that you have for sale. And if they come to your house, most probably your property already matched their criteria. And you have a great advantage toward that. Nevertheless, according to statistics, it takes 15 seconds for the human brain to create a judgment of something that they see. And after those 15 seconds, that judgment is going to reinforce by everything else that we'll see in the future. So you can see why it's very important that that first judgment, the first impression, to be positive for that buyer to come see your house, right?
I do.
Absolutely. And here is where staging and some modification, maybe take off the green, will come in.
Keep going back to that. Is there a problem with it?
I love that green, but just I know that, my daughter is colorblind. She will only see black and maybe it will not work for her. Like, I just want to make sure that every buyer will love your home as
You
much
may
as
not be
you
the right
do.
agent for me.
That makes sense. Let me go through the whole thing and we will discuss. Okay, let's say, have you seen ever a movie when the romantic scene, you see the fantastic lady coming down the stairs with the beautiful dress and the fancy hairstyle, and she look amazing and everybody goes like, whoa.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yes, I want the buyer to come see your house and have that feeling. The green over there just don't bring me that feeling. I want to make sure that they fall in love with your home and will be willing to make an offer on it.
Fair enough.
Okay, perfect. So staging is one of the most important things that we do on our property, on our listing, and that will help actually, that wow factor will help actually increase the value of your home. But this is proven.
Hold on, we're recording. You need to have sound.
Can you hear me now? Okay. That a house sells about 6% more, a staged home sells for about 6% more than a non-staged home. And it sells in about half time of a non-staged home. Now, I can help you by maybe just moving some furniture around and declutter your home from unnecessary items, personal items specifically. Not that they're not necessary, it's just for your own security. We recommend not to have personal picture. You don't want people to know your life and get into it. Lots of people will see your house. And other items like medicines, definitely any firearm or anything like that will be important to take off. There are like several things that we will take care of.
Okay.
Sounds fair. And now, as soon as we do stage your home, let me follow you through this whole process. As soon as we do stage your home and your home is ready to be seen, we can actually
It's funny
start.
because it's tough for an Italian to hold a microphone because they use their hands so much. You're struggling.
Yes, you know what? You can keep looking at it. I'm gonna look at the screen because it's impossible for me to do this just with one hand. Um, so marketing plan. Now, one thing that you need to know is that per the latest NARA survey, sir, the buyers nowadays investigate the property. As soon as they're ready to buy, they search on the website and they search online about the property they're going to buy. So the main thing that they're looking for, the quality information they're looking for, are quality pictures, are plans of the house, detailed information of the house, and of course, they're looking for the information of the real estate agent that is selling it to be able to contact it. Now, I have implemented all of that in my marketing strategy because we need to reach out to those savvy, web savvy buyers. And your house would definitely benefit from having the best positioning, the web positioning in the Houston area. Here at Keller Williams Memorial, what we do is promoting your property in over 330 websites. And basically what it is, we're going to promote your property in a local, national, and international online presence. Makes sense over here?
Perfectly.
On top of that, we are not completely abandoning traditional marketing material. There is nothing that will replace high quality printing material. And we're going to use that to highlight the best features of your home. So when a buyer comes to your house, they will find these beautiful flyers and illustrating all the information. And of course, that information is going to be also online. Sounds good up to now?
Sounds great.
Fantastic. So this is probably the best presentation you will have, the best passive marketing you will receive in the Houston area. But let me tell you something. I do not limit only to passive marketing. I like to extend myself to an active and proactive marketing. What that is that I'm going to start promoting your property even before we put it on the market as a coming soon property. It's going to be promoted online and it's going to be promoted even door to door. I'm going to door knock the neighborhood and let them know that your property will soon be on the market. Sounds good? Now, actively, as soon as the property is on the market, there are several things I can do for it. How do you feel about open houses?
I love open houses.
Fantastic. I love open houses too. And one of the reasons I love the open houses the most is because it gives me the opportunity in a couple of hours while you're with your family eating an ice cream, I can have multiple families coming and see the property. And I can host those families, highlighting to them exactly all the things that you were showing to me beside the green wall. That you were showing to me and they highlighted to me your home. So to show all the care that you actually gave to the home through these 3 years that was your house. Makes sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Now, open houses are also a fantastic way, a fantastic tool to promote your property because every time I host an open house, I publish an open house, 40,000 agents in the area of Houston will be notified of this open house. Just because of me being part of my office, we do that for every open house we host. And what these agents will do, notify their buyers to come and visit during that. Now, on top of that, I will go door knock the neighborhood, inviting the friends and family members of your neighbors to come and visit. So if they want to move over here, they have the perfect home to come. Any question related to that?
No, none. Crystal clear.
Fantastic. Now, I want to commit to an extra thing just for you. Well, actually do it for all my sellers. I will commit to 1 hour lead generation to look for active buyers that might benefit from the sale of your home. They might benefit purchasing your home. Does that
You're
sound?
committing that you're going to make phone calls
Phone calls, yes.
an
Lead
hour
generation.
a week.
An hour daily.
An hour a day on my home.
No, I am committing that every day I will spend 1 hour looking for active buyers that might benefit to purchase your home.
All right, let's hop off script. Tell me how you do that,
I just lead Jen.
but go a little deeper. Who's in bold in here? Tell me how you do that.
So I do phone calls in the neighborhood. I actually have the reach of that neighborhood, and I can let them know the properties on the market. If they know, like if you are a neighbor, I would say like, who do you know that is looking to buy or sell a house in this neighborhood?
So do you guys see that? When you're doing your bold calls, because you're all doing your bold calls that are in bold, you can sell that to the individual seller saying, I'm going to be making calls looking for active buyers. That's a very truthful statement. They may not be specifically for your home, but I'm looking for active buyers. And they like somebody who's looking for active buyers. So by putting that in your script, it's brilliant.
Now, any question related to what we talked until now?
No.
Fantastic. Let me give you a look of the market overview. So what I want you to see in this graph is that there is some movement. And as we were mentioning before, I mean, there's some condition of the market that are beyond your doing, which is timing and location. We actually didn't talk about, but you can read it on the information that I have for you. And it's timing, is the timing of the year. And do you want to go through the specific of this?
Yeah. So if you took agent metrics, you've got access to all of this. And we have a password for each of you. So this would be a great program to know very, very well, because your competition does not have this. You know why? It's expensive. Right? Well, I'm just saying, this is something you want to use, and you want to use this and get really into it, because you can lean in on this. Your competition at Compass, at EXP, at any company, they do not have this. So learn this at a high level. So this is showing the reds, the listings, the blue, the pendings, the greens, the solds. And you can see in, where are we doing this? Cinco Ranch?
This is the whole Cinco Ranch community.
So we can see here on the listings, they're starting to go back up again as expected. The pendings are keeping up with the solds, except for here in this last month. There's more blue than green. A lot more pendings, but less closings. If you can talk to me about that, you're my agent. But if you can't, which nobody else is even going to know because they don't have this, you're like everybody else. Differentiate yourself. Learn this program. Like I said, I had the class last week. I have it usually about once every 45 days. That's a big deal, because I would love to hear about this, because the next agent that's following you, if I don't list with you, won't be able to talk about this.
This is also helping you on the argument about the buyer commission. You can see there is more pending than sold, because the more qualified the buyer is, the better chance to get your home, to take your home from under contract to sold. And I would just leave it over there and then go to the commission when you apply to the listing agreement.
All right, let's get back on script.
Okay, as you can see in this graph, I want to put your property not only on the red line, which is the active listing. I want to make sure that your property goes from red to blue under contract and from blue to green. I want you to be able to move to
Montana, gosh, I can't remember Butte, Montana. Here's the deal. What I want to know is, how are you going to bulletproof the transaction? Chapter 12 of the book Shift. How are you going to bulletproof the transactions that when we do get to here, it goes to here in the green? That's what I want to know. What are you going to do when you get the house from listed to sold, sold meaning put in escrow, to closed, which many agents failed at here, right? How cool is this stuff that we provide this to you? If you don't use it, it's useless. Yes. Hold on. I'm going to have you got to talk. Because it sounds like you're going to be given a compliment and then we want to have that on mic. Otherwise we don't.
Okay, so you're probably gonna go over this, I don't know, or in your class. One of the most powerful tools on that particular report is when you go to the market pricing and you can actually show the seller.
It's the
how many
next page.
homes-
It's
yeah,
coming up in 1
Okay,
minute and 14
so
seconds.
anyway, so you can show the seller how many homes didn't change price and how many, in how many days it took to sell. That I have gotten listings based on that other page that follows.
Gosh, I'm dying to show that, but we got to wait.
I jumped ahead of you.
Keep
It's
going.
okay. So let's go to the next page. Market overview. Now, this is some information that I want you to take in consideration. This is more specific. The previous information was related to the whole Cinco Ranch area. This is Cinco Ranch Southwest. It's closer to your home, and I want you to understand exactly what's going on in the area. So closer to your home, we have 17 active listings. These are properties that are right now on the market, and we have 24 pending listing. These are property that are right now under contract. They are in the process of close, but they're not closed yet. Expired listing are property that have been rejected by the market. They're no longer on the market. Didn't work the marketing that they were doing. Something went wrong. Probably usually is pricing. Sometimes it's also conditions or even terms. There are some sellers that are very particular on how to show the property, et cetera, that might affect the final result. Now, closing in the past 6 months, we have 31, which means that actually the market is moving, and this is a great time for you to put your property in the market so we can actually close. That's fantastic. Now, this number, please make sure you do not misunderstand this number for anything that has to do with your home. As I was mentioning, this is just a market overview. We do not use comparable properties. We use everything that was out there. So the average listing price for property that are right now sold is 596,351. Now, that was the listing price of those the average listing price of those property previous to sell. Now, when they were listed, when they sold, they were sold, they were 594,180,000.
And this is what it's like to be dyslexic, everybody.
Sorry, like I see numbers always backwards. Okay. So basically what we see that the properties sell for 99.64% of what the seller wanted to sell.
Yes, Cash. Wait.
If it is so confusing, why don't we skip the first one, average, and concentrate on the average sold price and make it simple for the.
There is a purpose of this.
You
We
wanna-
wanna-
Yeah, we want to see. This is really a powerful thing. It lets me know typically homes sell within 98%, right? That's an important number. They sell within nine. When we see this change, when this number becomes 94% or 92%, that's an indicator. We've been in Houston, we've been at 98% or higher for the past 7 years. So we can tell some important data on this. Trust me on this one, Cash.
And the reason we want to educate the seller, we want the seller to understand the pricing in the area, because we're not going to suggest the price. We're going to get the seller to tell the right price, the right market price for their home at the end of this. So the other important thing, Mr. Smith, is that all these properties sold on an average of 25 days. Now, take a look at the next number. 31 is the day on the market of active properties right now, which means that it's slowing down. We need to make sure to price your property at the right point because it will take longer to sell. Any question? No, it's okay. We can go to the next page. And this is just like a collection of all the numbers I just showed you. You can go ahead and look the address and it's all in there for you to
So if
see.
you're not with KW Memorial, this is what you're kind of left to. right? All of this data. Now, what Raul was talking about is the next part of this, or it's coming up pretty quick. If I had to look at all that data of these last few pages, I can't make heads or tails out of that. Nobody can. But we can give you clarity when we get to the agent metrics part, which is super simple.
Yes, and you can use more of the previous one too. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, comparative marketing analysis. Now we're going to go specific to your property. These are actually comparable to your house. These are properties that are about the same size, kind of same number of bedrooms and kind of same condition. What it is your direct competition. And can you go to the next page, Isura? It's your direct competition. Any buyer who will come and see your house will probably go see this other as well. And you can see over here, we have 4 active listing. This is what the buyer will gonna see. And the pricing on these properties varies between $530 to $615. Now, these active pricing is what I call the wishing pricing. This is what the seller is hoping to get by selling their home. Now, the next information is about option pending and the pending properties in the same area. Option pending we have basically. These property are right now under contract, as I was explaining before, and in the process to close. The pricing that we have over here is what I call its happening price. We know that it's happening, is under contract, but we don't know what is happening. We don't know anything about the conditions of the contract that we have over there. If they negotiated the price, did they negotiated closing costs, what are those conditions? We have no idea about that. We know that that pricing nevertheless motivated the buyer to actually make an offer on the property. Then we have sold property. These are property that have a new owner. It already happened. It really did happen. So the pricing of this property is what I call the happened pricing. So if we take in consideration this pricing to discuss and decide what price will be the right price for your property, there is a greater chance that it will actually happen. It happened before, why wouldn't it happen again? Now, the best way to do is to go to average sold price per square footage and apply that to the size of your home. That's one way. Of course, there are other details that you might take in consideration. Now, if we go to the next page, I really like to make sure of one factor.
Okay,
Why-
in the listing presentation, we have 3 different ways to visualize pricing it in the market, out of the market, or kind of no man's land. This is one of the 3. Pick the one that you like. Doesn't matter which one, but get good at articulating how to identify being priced in the wrong space or in the right space.
There you go. What we see over here, there are 3 options when you price your home. You might tell me like, okay, let's say the average pricing is 600, and let's say your home has beautiful green and the pool and and some other details, and you really believe your home should be on the market for, let's say, 680. What is happening is that, let's say you would be willing to accept 600, but you want to try and see, and you believe that probably you should get 680. That's what it does. It's getting your property out of the market. Any buyer who will be willing and able to pay you the 600 that it's actually 600,000 that it's actually worth it, and actually the price of your house, they're not even going to see your home in any of their search because it's completely out of their reach. Now, there is also a gray area. In that area is where you say like, oh, I want some margin of negotiation. I'm okay taking 600,000 from my property, but I want to try 635. That's a gray area. The buyer might see it, might not. but is not motivated enough to actually make an offer. My suggestion is that target the right buyer that is willing and able to pay the right amount of money for your property, and you will get it sold as soon as possible with better results. And here is what I can actually show you in the next pages. How I can actually show you exactly according to the data that is happening. So as you can see, we have 12 property that sold recently in the past 6 months. 9 of those decided to put the property in the right pricing. 9 of those reached the right pricing. They decided, and as you can see, all the dots that are white are property that sold and had no reduction in price. The property who have the darker dot are property who had 1 or more reduction in price. Do you want to go through this?
Let me go ahead and take this one. So 12 properties total within a certain price range. The seller said, I want 680 to, what did we start with on that example?
Over there, you can see actually 665. Yes, so 680.
But 575, 580 to 620. So the properties are not all the same property in an area, right? We know that, but we know that the comps show your particular home should be at, let's go ahead and say 595. So there were 9 that needed no price reduction. They did not get list, but they didn't have to go into MLS and ask for a price reduction. They started off at 597,000, basically 598. They got 595. It took 13 days. So this was the right pricing. 0 price reduction, 183 a foot. 13 days, 183 a foot. The other 3, boom, 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 started off at 665. So they started off at $68,000 more. They got 604. So they did get more, $10,000 more, 9,000, but it took 62 days. What is the mortgage payment on 600,000? Let's say they put 100 down, $500,000. Well, it's more than $5,000. So it took 62 days, 2 mortgage payments, plus the house was bigger by about 700 feet. They got 152 a foot, 183 by pricing it right, 152 by going with the, let's price it higher and see what we get. That is solid gold for you when you go on a listing appointment. That is the Memorial Metrics program that we pay for every agent in this office to have. If you're not using it, yikes. So when we looked at all those pages and pages of data that Asuda had up a little while ago, this breaks it down nice and clean, and you can articulate this in 30 seconds. And you'll learn how to do that June, whatever.
Guys, if you don't want to wait until June, just send an email to that michaelb@kw.com. And if you guys are at least 15, Michael will teach you earlier than June 11, so you can get some listings.
Yes, cash.
This last conclusion like you made is irrelevant to that particular CMA thing in Cinco Ranch?
Yeah, because we took the data from Cinco Ranch. We took it from that area specific. And when you use the Memorial Metrics program, you want to go bigger. You don't want to pick a street. You don't want to pick a smaller area. You want to go bigger, get more data. This is proven invaluable in helping you get listings because you look like a pro instantly, even if your license is still new.
And also, I mean, you're not suggesting the price to your seller, to your future seller, but these data, if you take the class, you will see you can modify the class according to what you are suggesting to your seller. And those numbers make sense to your suggestion. You're just suggesting silently. You're making your seller get there by its own, so you don't have to argue with them.
Bro.
So, and I think this is a great segue for, like, for example, if you were actually moving to Butte, Montana, which I wouldn't know why you would move there, but anyway, so this is where you can go back to the motivation right there, right, Michael? When you say, well, if you want to really get to Butte, Montana as quickly as you told me you want, I think we should probably be at the upper echelon of that, on that segment to be able to get your home sold right away.
Yep. All right.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Smith, according to all the information that you just saw and I just explained to you, what would be the price that you wanted the property to be on the market for?
I would like to put it on for $597,938.22.
You're very smart. I totally agree with you, and I'm proud of your decision. Let's make this happening so that you can move to Montana as soon as possible. So I have over here with me some documents that I need you to sign.
I didn't say I
actually
was going to
signed
do
them.
it with you, though. I want somebody who's not going to make fun of my painting.
Well, I'm gonna take care of your painting, so nobody will make fun of
There.
it. Can I have
So
the
guys, how did she do?
Wait,
Yeah.
there is one more thing that we need to go discussing the pricing. Remember? Yes, we are going to discuss the pricing. So I want to just go very quick.
All right, guys. So this is going to be a script that is because I have this amazing assistant, Melissa. She put together 119 pages of scripts, and a lot of these fall into play with what's happening July 1st, commencing then, but we're already seeing it now. We're already seeing, like I said, sellers offering less on the side of commissions. So being able to discuss that, we're going to go ahead and put this into play into the script because I'm going to ask, can I negotiate to pay you less than the 6% you're asking for? I heard it's negotiable.
Absolutely. It's always been negotiable since forever ago. And nevertheless, if you reduce the commission, what you're going to actually reduce is for the buyer concession, the concession that you're giving to the buyer for them to be able to purchase their house and to pay the commission of their buyer agent that got them into your house in the first place. So I really highly recommend to pay buyer agent the 3%. And that is why not only you're going to motivate those agents who have very highly qualified buyers to come and visit your home, but they're also going to, help them through the whole process so that they can move from under contract to close and you can move to Montana as you want to take care of your horses. Would you like to see?
Big farmer. Didn't pay attention to any of my desires.
Okay, wait a sec. Would you like to see would you like to see what other competitors are doing right now on the market? What they're offering to the buyer agent?
Do you hear that, guys? So now you can even use that and say, look, take a look at what other sellers in your area are offering to the buyer's agents. Meaning if you're not competitive, heck, if that buyer's agent has 9 homes to show and there's 15 on the market, they're got their 9 homes to show. They're likely to not show yours if they're not getting paid.
So one thing that I like you to see, as you see, the resale property are offering most of them 3% to the buyer agent.
Yes.
Now, let me tell you something. New construction are offering not only 3%, but there's some that offer 4, 5, even 7% toward buyer agent. They do value the work that the buyer agents does toward the process. Now, I would suggest to give the buyer at least the 3% to the buyer agent. And of course, my minimum commission is 3% to go through the whole process as I mentioned it, that I will do for you and sell your property.
I would say yes to that, right? I would say yes to that, but you need to be able to know the scripting. So we have all of that. Tans.
What happens after like starting July? They're gonna
They're doing it now.
remove
Yeah.
remove the buyer's commission,
No,
like
th-
buyer's.
They're going to
agent?
remove it out of the MLS. So we already have a
Okay.
website here where we're testing it out now so that agents can post what they will pay to what the seller is paying to the buyer's agent so that other offices can take a look. We can't put it in MLS, but we can have it on our website. So this office being proactive, thank you, Brandon, Lara, already put that together for us.
Okay, thank you.
We're gonna have to be a lot more communicative.
Right. I was
Ugh.
asking because of this argument that we are telling the seller, look at all the other sellers. They are putting 3%, but if there is not in MLS.
But they
yeah,
still can, hold on though, they can still show. I could still
Yes.
take 5 minutes and
Okay.
call all of these sellers. They're gonna be dying to tell me what they're paying since they can't put it in MLS.
Okay.
And so
perfect.
we'll have that information. Right, we're supposed to work with integrity, but if you have 15 properties to show and 9 are paying and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are not, you're gonna see a lot of expired properties.
Also, I believe that you can marketing that property, you can have like flyers or something that market the buyer commission on it. You can go visit those property and grab the flyer, like prove that they're offering that.
Yeah, it can't just be in MLS. Yeah, everybody wants the seller to pay the commission. Yes, Carlos. The challenge comes in, what happens when, and the news was coming out here yesterday, they're gonna come out next week now. I'm doing a story with them. What if I'm a VA and I want to buy this property? My agent says that seller isn't doing anything on the commission side. That VA isn't allowed as a buyer to pay those fees. There's a whole mess going on. That's why I called the news and they're coming out for this. It's a big deal. So Bill Spencer, KHOU, is going to be doing the story on that. This is going to be a little bit of a mess in the beginning. Learn your scripts, learn how to take listings. Do you guys feel like you have an idea on how to give a good listing presentation, or at least the start of where to go? So here's what I'm doing. I got to take it back a little bit, but I will pay $100 to anybody that does a listing presentation for me using that kind of a script. I want you to learn that script and then make it your own, but use that script. So it's $100. You know, if it's amazing, I'll give you 150. Like if you get it perfect the first time through, learn how to do a listing. Don't just be a buyer's agent, kind of worrying about, am I going to get paid or not? The sellers will always get paid.
Michael.
Wow, Jen Tran, hi.
Hello. So I just wanted to say, when I was a new agent, the very first Powerlister came out and I printed it out and I memorized that word for word. I spent a lot of time. I had a listing appointment. I went, I got the listing, sold the house, everything was great. And that client was talking to her sister who's in another state. And her sister's like, I don't know what's going on. We don't have this. We don't have a plan. And my client told her, she's like, oh my gosh, my listing agent had a plan. She knew exactly what was going to happen every step of the way. She showed me everything. It was my very first listing appointment.
Yeah.
And that was because of Powerlister. And she knew I was new because I'd known her for a long time, but she said everything was laid out perfectly. And she actually had her sister call me to explain how real estate worked in another state. So
When I took over this office, about 72% of our business came from buyers. That is an unhealthy office, because when you have listings, you could have 50 listings and be surfing in Hawaii right now. But if you have 5 buyers, you are stuck with those buyers and you're running around, and now you might be running around for nothing, right? You might be running around for nothing. So when you learn how to take listings, that's important. So I said, I want to have a great listing presentation. It took us 3 years to put that together. And I had a team, including Paige Martin, who helped do it. So it's kind of a big deal. Use it. Now we have a whole update to it, thanks to Tanja and team. And I want you guys to use this. I want you to get great at this. Let's get great at listings. All right. Any questions? Yes, Raul.
The new updated version with the new.
When is that
When
coming
is
out,
that gonna
Tanja?
come out?
Very soon, very, very soon.
That's all I got. It takes some time, and by the way, I just wanted to let you know some of us volunteered on it, but it implies a great an investment from the office to update all of that directly from England. The lady is working on it, and it will take about 3 weeks, hopefully, or less. Hopefully 3 weeks ish.
Anything else on this? Tanya? Is that all we got? All right, there we go. Awesome, guys. Use your power for good. Yes. If you guys would take the class, send me an email, michaelb@kw.com. It's just to do it again after just doing it last week. I got to have at least 15 people in there to make it even worth it. Well, that's a good question. Melissa, are you ready to give that up?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
I said, are you ready to give that up?
Give the
I should articulate that.
give what up? Sorry.
Are you ready to give up these scripts?
Oh yes. Actually, an agent emailed. I sent an email to you, Michael, and I sent her the link to the scripts. So if you want the copy of the scripts, just send Michael an email, and I'll send it to you.
All right, michaelb@kw.com. When you get them, they're color coded. She did this amazing. She stayed up, knocked this out. It took a long time. Learn these scripts. I promise you success. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Asuda. Thank you. Thank you, Melissa. All right, guys.